You are tuned in to another episode of the Showbang Show, live from Rated R Studios. We got everybody with us today. We got Papa Schroeder.
What up?
We got Rowdy Ray.
What's good?
And my dog EDJ.
What's going on?
And obviously I'm your boy, Rated R Randy. So we got a lot of stuff to get into, fellas.
It's a little bit of a different tone we're going to start off with today. We're going to talk a little bit about the mass shootings that have been happening recently and just the mass shootings in general, and kind of get our opinions on it. I know Ray wanted to talk about it, and we all thought about it, and it was actually a really good idea. So we're going to open with that and just kind of get your opinion. You know, what do you guys think about it? What do you feel like is the best way to go about negating the potential of more extreme tragedy in the country that seems to be happening more frequently than it has in the past?
Where do we unpack this? Where it's a lot to unpack. Like where the fuck do we start?
There is no start. Low key, there is no end. With mass shootings, you always want to try to get to the root of the issue, and everybody considers a lot of times either mental health or gun laws, like the root of the issue, right? Which I don't disagree necessarily. But it's not as black as white as everybody tries to make it seem. Like, oh, all of these guys are mentally ill, so that's it. You know what I'm saying? Now we just need to work on mental health. There needs to be compromise on both sides. There are some things that need to be amended. Like, I'm not with the banning of, like, all rifles. I'm not with that. But certain assault rifles, yeah, they need to be banned. Or modifications on them need to be made illegal. Like, there is no good reason that an average American citizen needs a AK-47. You cannot make me believe that an average American citizen needs an AK-47. I seen them hoes chop down a tree before. You don't need that. That is a weapon of mass destruction to me. There's no need for burst or automatic modifications on an AR-15. There's no need for that. Excuse me. If you want to go hunting with an AR-15 single shot, fine with me. Do what you do, or that's how you decide to protect your home and your family. That is fine by me. But there is no reason for you to have a modification on there that turns that into an automatic weapon, and you packing on a 30 clip on that. There's no feasible reason to me. You cannot make that reasonable.
And just to kind of go back a little bit, what situations are we unpacking? Because we got the Dayton.
Yeah, you got
shooting,
the Dayton, Ohio shooting.
And then El Paso?
Mm-hmm. El Paso. Yeah, and then right before August, July 28th, there was one in California.
Okay.
And what was it? There was 3 dead but 15 wounded in that shooting. That's a mass shooting. Also, the classification of mass shootings needs to kind of be adjusted. Because a lot of times when they say these are mass shootings, only 4 people are hit. And I kind of feel like those numbers need to hit like higher single, lower double digits for them to be classified as a mass shooting. Because I came from a rough area where I've seen, multiple people shot and nobody classified this as a mass shooting. Why is this, all the rage now? Was it...
Shit, maybe it should have been a mass shooting before.
Maybe. Right. Maybe I need to change my ideology, but
you know what I'm
saying? That's a fair point, but at the same time, it's just, if 4 people are shot, 1 dies, is that really a mass shooting? What is a mass of people if that's the case?
I think it is.
You think so?
Simply because you're talking about 4 lives at stake in this situation.
But is that considered a mass, though? That's what I'm talking about. Is that considered a mass?
I think that's just what they like to use to describe it. You know what I mean? I think that's like same thing like we talk about these generational talents. You hate that term. It's same kind of thing. It's just a term they've created for these, mass shooting incidents, or whatever you want to classify them as. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think that if you have somebody that's going into a public area that wants to harm as many people as he can.
But this is the worst part, though. A lot of times, well, okay, I'll say in cases that I have seen, let me make that very abundantly clear. In cases that I've seen, it's not to attack a group of people. It's mainly 1 or 2 people, and just the aim is off, so innocent bystanders are hit. That's typically what I've seen. Because
I mean, personally, I wouldn't say that's a mass shooting because you're not trying to pull off a mass shooting. Like most of these guys that are going into these situations, I'm gonna go in and kill as many people as I can. And it's not like I have a target or something.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, if you're shooting at somebody and you miss,
But are we looking at intent versus the effect, or like what actually happened? Because I think we gotta look at what actually happened as opposed to the intent.
I think both have to be taken into consideration.
Oh man, my intent was only to take out 2 niggas, but I hit 5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because like, bro, like if that's the case, then I guess I was a witness to a mass shooting. This is back in 2008, right? Mm-hmm. There was a shooting at the community center in the west side of KC, right?
Right.
One pregnant lady was hit. 2 other people were hit. And it wasn't, the people who were shooting didn't go in there with the intent to hit as many people as possible. They went there to get 1 to 2 guys, right? That was the intention behind it. And the effect was 3 to 4 people were hit, right? I feel like there's a certain gray area. There needs to be a split in terms. You know what I'm saying? Like if we can come up with a new term or a different term to help classify these, because like, okay, with disasters, there's different classifications for it, right? With like hurricanes and whatnot, there needs to be classifications for it. Like what type of shooting was it? Level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And that's fair.
That's what I'm trying to get at, because like I need to know the level of disaster that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, the Las Vegas shootings, that was like some mass disaster type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like 50 people were hit and like 20 people died. That's okay. That's a mass shooting. That's
but I think
76 people died.
76? Damn.
I think that speaks to a lot of the traumas that black men have to face in the hood, though.
That
also,
yeah, and the fact that like maybe I've become a bit desensitized to things of that nature, and maybe that's something I need to work on myself. But I don't know. I don't feel as if I'm that much different from another American. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like everybody can kind of resonate with what I'm trying to get at, and I feel like we can come to an agreement or compromise on some of these terms and move forward from there.
Well, I think there's a lot of different red flags that come up before these things even happen, right? And I think there's a lot of different things that you can look towards to kind of negate these things from happening. A lot of these people, and not all of them, but pretty much a majority of them have had or have been or have seen or have been confirmed cases of a form of mental illness or prior rap sheets or whatever you call them. I think the people who have prior rap sheets but don't have a confirmed mental illness are looked at as a different case, but you don't know that. I mean, let's take it all the way back to the one that originally started the whole thing in Columbine. I mean, that is probably still to this day the one that resonates the most because of the pure impact of it. I mean, those 2 kids had the plan of blowing up their school, and then whoever walked out just shoot them. And if you're going to tell me that they were just angry because they were bullied, then that's a hell of an anger issue. I think a lot of people are overlooking this thing just because they want a different kind of gun control law. I've said it on a previous episode, we really need to look at this mental illness thing and really take a look at it, because this thing is ramped up to a whole new level that we couldn't even comprehend from that point to our current time. I know they said in Dayton that the guy had drugs in his system, and if you want to use that as a leverage point, I think they said cocaine and a few other substances, then sure, go for it. But I know people who have done cocaine, and I'm pretty sure they have a gun, but I haven't seen them shoot anybody. I haven't seen them go out and kill a bunch of people. So if you want to use that as a leap-off point, then go ahead, but you're going to need a lot more support than that.
Yeah, I just think it's something that a lot of different things need to be addressed on different fronts. Like the mental health definitely needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Gun control definitely needs to be addressed. Like it's just it's different things. It's not just one issue that's gonna clear anything up.
And especially with mental illness, I think the drugs we're giving people and administering that, I think that needs to take the toughest look out of all of them, honestly.
Because I still see a lack of studies on the substances that are within these people's bodies, because a lot of times it's not illicit substance. It's, you know, these are prescription drugs. You know what I mean? Like famously, the Columbine shooters, they were on antidepressants.
Right.
But to like really unpack it, man, I think a lot of people are wrongly going at Trump.
That's true.
That's just my, like, I really think it's futile to go after Trump, because are we gonna act like all of these shootings happened under Trump?
Yeah.
Fuck
No.
Mm-hmm.
As I recall, Sandy Hook happening under Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aurora happened under Obama. Like, it was many shootings that happened under Obama too.
Not to mention, if you want to be completely honest about it, Columbine happened under Clinton's administration. So what are we getting at?
Yeah, and this is the same problem we've had for a long time, and it's
20
just
years.
gotten more and more rampant. But going back to what EDJ was saying earlier about these red flags, this is one of the things that just blows my mind the most, is that these people that have popped these red flags, they still, you know, can buy guns, or, you know, they're on these medications, and no one's taking a look into them. Last time that I checked, I thought that's what the fuck the Patriot Act was supposed to do in the first place. They passed the Patriot Act so they could go in and monitor every aspect of our lives at every moment. But why is this still happening? How the fuck in 2019 is this happening, where we openly joke about, you know, the NSA is staring at us through our TVs, or watching us through the computer, or, you know, whatever, listening to us on our phone, and we're popping up ads about something that we're talking about? How do you not catch this before it happens? And that's one of the things that almost bugs me the most about all of it, is especially when it comes out afterwards, oh, so-and-so, like you were saying with the rap sheets, or, you know, like so-and-so did this, or they said they were going to shoot, you know, whatever place up, and still nobody has the, you know, well-being to check on said person.
Well, you're right. I mean, going back to Columbine, they've done interviews with the parents, and they said they never checked their rooms. They never checked on the kids. This is probably before the Patriot Act. They never checked on their kids. They never worried about it. They just thought they were going through a phase. You think that's a phase?
Right.
Good Lord. And the Parkland shooter recorded him, I think it was, a year before or a couple months before, said, I'm going to be the next mass shooter of next year. And what's he do a couple months later? You're telling me you can't do anything about that? Something needs to change.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these are almost 100% preventable. Especially with these guys, like you said, the Parkland shooter literally saying, oh, I'm going to be the next mass shooter. Like, why is somebody not checking him? Like, why has somebody not got him somewhere, you know, whether it's a mental institute or something somewhere, you know, out of danger for society? Because we lock up plenty of people every day that are not a danger to society. But these people were letting roam the streets. Why?
That's true. And to touch on the Parkland shooter, I think they released a video of him afterwards when he was being interrogated, asked why he did it. And they brought his brother in, I think. It was his older brother or younger brother. I think it was his older brother. And he was hugging his older brother, saying he was sorry. He didn't realize what he was doing. And if that is the case, and if that is what has happened with his, I think, was he on psychiatric drugs, or I think he might have been. Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and then it goes back to Levi's point, we need to step back and look at this whole psychiatric drug phase and realize that most of these drugs we give these kids, and usually they're kids at this point, they don't work. Or you're giving them too much, or you're not giving them enough, or you're not looking at the side effects of it.
Yeah, and giving it to them too young. I mean, what, every little bit we go up in how long it takes your brain to develop, right? I mean, what's the actual age that your brain stops developing?
They're saying now it's at like between 25 and 27 for the average adult.
25 and 27, and you know, you're giving kids
drugs.
How old, you know, hard
11,
drugs?
10, 11.
Exactly.
And this is the thing, the boom that happened in the early 2000s, you know, the ADD, ADHD, anxiety. Anxiety's been a big one, you know what I'm saying, in this day and age. And the fact that we still have yet to do proper studies on these drugs before we mass administer them. Not much study into the side effects, long-term effects, none of that. Right? It's just throw it at the problem now, we'll fix it later. And we're paying for it now. We're getting the later.
We've literally been just throwing band-aids on it and not actually going in to fix the issue. And I mean, just to be real honest, I don't see a day and age where we really try to fix it. Just to be real honest, I mean, we went this long going on.
To be honest,
this is probably like a late night, like you say, an early 2000s, late 90s issue where this really started, happening and running rampant. And it's 2019. It's been 20 years now.
Yep. And this is the worst part. Just unfettered greed is low key at the root of it all.
Yeah,
that's the main issue, right? Mm-hmm. Is that unethical greed is essentially the root cause, because Big Pharma is not going to take any responsibility for it. You know what I mean? A lot of these, what is it?
Especially like the doctors. I mean, just like look at all the doctors that prescribe all the shit that they prescribe, and then you hear all the time, throw out your unused medication. Like, where do you think all that unused medication is going? Right, it's not going in the trash.
It's not. It's going right into our water system, and then we're getting runoff from it. No matter how clean you think your water is, you would have to put an expert level filter on there to get all the crap out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I mean, not even just that is going into our systems and water and everything. But I mean, how much of it ends up in somebody else's hands? One way or another. So I think, honestly, we really need to take, I think, personally, the biggest look at, the way the drugs are being administered over necessarily, like, huge gun control. I mean, I'm kind of with what everything Ray was saying. I mean, I don't want to take away everyone's rifles. Everybody should have the ability to hunt. I think that you should be able to have a handgun in your house to be able to protect yourself. Shotgun, whatever you want, personally in there. But automatic weapons, burst weapons. I mean, what's the real point to that? The only reason I could see you argue that is at the point of what the law really protects of the Second Amendment, and that's a militia. So if you want to bring that up, like, I don't know, I'm kind of with that, but at the same time, like, we really have to fix this issue before we go forward of saying, oh, we need to protect ourselves from the government. Like, I vouch for that, but at the same time, we need to fix this issue.
But I really want to get back into the presidents, right? Because what is the point of calling out Trump after these shootings? Why aren't we calling out Obama after Sandy Hook?
Okay, my thing with the Trump thing, so didn't one of them say that they were trying to protect the country from illegals or something to that effect?
He did, but ultimately, what does one shooting? You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, I agree with you. I'm just saying, based off of what he is, like doing, having the shooting happen for, it is impartial because of the rhetoric that Trump pushes, and like it's really not okay, and it's how shit happened.
I've never heard him say go out and shoot people because they're not.
Well, he doesn't have to say that.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to say it, but at the same time, we're talking about rhetoric, and we're talking about him pushing, his rhetoric. It's all about how people take it, right? At the end of the day, most of the time, and pretty much all the time, you just kind of ignore what he says when he comes to that kind of stuff because no one monitored him at all. Which, by the way, if you have the job of monitoring Trump's tweets, you're very, very shitty at your job. But honestly, it's all about how you take his rhetoric, and that goes all the way back to mental illness, and we talked about that, so we won't go back into that. But it just goes back to how you take what he says, and most people just go, okay, dude, whatever. And they just go about their day because that's what it is. I mean, when he does something good. If he does something bad, okay. But at the end of the day, what the president says 9 times out of 10, no matter who it is, doesn't affect your daily life. It affects the country's outlook, but it doesn't affect you at 2:30 p.m. having lunch at Applebee's. Not one bit.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say a lot of the things Trump say, it seems more so people take it, run with it, and it's like more hate is just kind of reverberating throughout the country at these times. But even then, that's not an excuse to go shoot up a place.
Not at all.
And I don't think that Trump has that power to call it like this is an underlying issue for years before Trump.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be something that's going to go on after Trump.
Exactly. And this is the whole thing. If they're just going off of rhetoric, that I don't know, that's a little hard to believe, because I would think they would go more so off of actions, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And if that's the case, then why weren't, mass shootings against quote unquote like immigrants or people that, aren't quote unquote American happening under the Bush administration, the Obama administration? Because Bush and Obama were our biggest proponents of deportation. Clinton was too. Clinton started it, but Obama was actually the biggest deporter of immigrants.
But also look at the climate of things. I mean, we also have, look at all these camps that we've got all these, immigrants in, and, especially separating the kids from their parents and stuff. That's not shit I've ever heard of happening until Trump was in office. What's
the funny part?
Shit like that is kind of what I'm...
This is the fucked up part. They just didn't report it. The same shit was going on in 2012 that's going on now. It's just now they have a figure. There's a figurehead for it. And I'm not even pining for Trump. This is the fucked up part. It's just when you
I don't fuck with Trump at all.
I don't fuck with his rhetoric. His ideologies I disagree with. But just to see stuff like that, like people like, well, it's Trump. Like, it's not. It's the system. It's the system. He happens to be the figurehead right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, and it's going to change, after, 2024, we'll see another figurehead in there, and, they'll be our focus of hate. They'll be our target of hate. But back to, like, what I was saying.
So you saying Trump 2020?
I mean.
Yeah, I think so, too.
What Democrats y'all think going to beat him?
Gang. Hey man, I'm voting.
None of these dudes is
go ahead, bro. But
I don't want to vote for none of these motherfuckers. Really? I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
all of them are lame, bro.
What's dude's name? Cory
Booker. Lame.
Talking about Kool-Aid, bro.
Lame.
Whack. You're out of there. I'm not voting for you.
Kamala Harris out here eating pork chops and then saying Eid Mubarak to the Muslims.
You're out.
Get the fuck out.
Get out of here.
They're mainly just going off the old hat of Joe Biden at this point. I mean,
pretty much. That is their best bet. And I'm not fucking with Joe Biden.
Joe Biden touches kids. Out.
Fucking Bernie Sanders, he might die as soon as he get in office. Yeah. And then this...
He's kind of reneged on a lot of his policies.
He went back on a lot of shit.
And I'm just not cool with that.
The pandering, bro. This is something that is bothering me as a black person. Dealing with
now we're getting to it.
Let's fucking get it.
Now we're getting to it. No, because niggas was pussyfooting around. Now we getting to the meats and potatoes of the bullshit. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah.
We getting into this shit, bro.
The fucking Democrats have been pandering to the black community for God knows how long, with hopes and promises and no follow-throughs. This is bullshit. And then they do these little song and dances every election season.
Time, bro.
And I swear to God, it's low-key. It's insulting. At this point, it is fucking insulting. You're going to insult my intelligence by acting like you got hot sauce in your fucking bag, or I'm with the culture. I smoked weed once in college. Get the fuck out of my face. I will not vote for you.
But you've been arresting niggas since then.
Bro, you out here supporting crime bills. You wrote the crime bill. How do you expect me to resonate with that?
It's real laughable. It's real laughable,
It really is.
I can't take it serious.
Bro, because this is the worst part.
Now I can't even take motherfuckers talking about reparations and shit. Oh, I can't even take that serious.
Nigga, that is a pipe dream.
Pipe dream like a motherfucker. What reparations? We gonna get $5. We gonna get a coupon to Church's Chicken,
exactly.
Nigga. I don't want it.
And they gonna expect us to be grateful. Be grateful, nigga. That's all I'm gonna hear out of that. I swear to God. That's all you gonna hear out of that. Because you lucky I didn't lock up more asses. I feel like that's what Clinton would say. Exactly, man. Exactly. We're at a loss for fucking words, right? Because it's just, how can you think people are this fucking stupid?
They are, though. That's the scary thing. They are.
Some.
Most. That's the scary part, because, I mean, it's still going on. They're still getting over because of it. And people still follow them because of it. If you still follow the Democratic Party after what Hillary Clinton made a mockery of it and literally screwed Bernie Sanders out of being the Democratic
Both sides
elect.
are a mockery.
Well, they are a mockery, but I mean, especially what Hillary Clinton just did to the Democratic Party in the last election, and you're still a follower and still a strong believer in the Democratic Party and what they stand for, you're a majority of the idiot. Of the stupid. It doesn't make any sense, but you're the majority of the stupid. You are literally following a base that just tried to screw over everybody for one lady. They put all their chips in one hat and handed it to Hillary Clinton and said, here you go win, and she lost.
I see what you're saying, and we're kind of going to have a nuanced debate. And just for the record, just to preface my comment, I don't fuck with Trump. I don't fuck with the Republican. At this point, I don't really fuck with. I know, I don't really fuck with any party at this point. But just to kind of go, I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, they kind of had to.
They didn't.
They
to
didn't
me.
have to.
To
To
me,
put
they
all your
didn't.
eggs in one basket with Hillary.
Yeah, they did.
I kind of think they had to because that was like the only chance they had. At that
Bernie
point.
had the better chance.
Bernie
had the chance.
But a lot of people looked at Bernie shit as unrealistic.
That's also a fact. That is also a fact. But then again, you can say the same with Trump. This man literally just hopped off the porch, held no public office at all, and was just like, fuck it, I'm president. Took over the Republican Party, got the nomination, and ran with it.
And the Democrats got mad cocky like the
Yeah,
Republicans
they was just like,
did.
oh, there's no fucking way a reality star is gonna win. A fucking celebrity. And what the fuck did he do? Embarrass their asses.
And we could say that the same like this upcoming
Then
election.
this is what we're about to
They
see.
still cocky. It's
Because-
like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna be dumb enough to vote Trump back in 2020.
Shit. If anything, he didn't double down on his platform and like reinforced it. Because Trump voters, they going even harder this time. It's just no shenanigans this go around. That's the whole thing. Like last time, it was the whole Charlottesville, Virginia stuff, and all that was going on. That's out the way. Now it's like he's going like real politics now.
And he's doing token things like freeing ASAP Rocky.
Exactly. Do you see it? It's chess. This is chess,
Yeah.
not
Chess, not
fucking
checkers.
checkers. I say this constantly. And what the fuck is the Democratic Party doing? Having sit downs with Cardi B. I will not ever ask her for any political advice. Ever. Back to Dave Chappelle. Where's Ja Rule? Where's Ja? I don't give a damn. Talk to somebody in the know, goddammit. That's what I'm saying, bro. This shit is a joke. Nigga, I just seen a video of Andrew Yang doing the goddamn electric slide. No, my bad. The Cupid shuffle with old black people.
No.
Stop the madness, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It's a popularity contest. At the
It
end of the
is,
day, it's a
but-
pageant.
Was it crispy at least?
Actually, low-key, Cuz was getting it.
Real shit.
Low-key.
Yang Gang 2020.
Bro,
I might have to vote for that motherfucker.
I'm
No,
trying to
playing.
say-
I'm
I was
Hey,
like,
I'm gonna give you $1,000 a month, alright?
I'm trying to, nigga, if you think that shit getting through, I got bridges to
$1,000.
you.
What you say? $1,000. $1,000.
Hey, man, I'm about to die. $1,000.
$1,000.
Hey, man. Everybody gonna be thinking like, damn, we should have voted for Yang when everybody can't afford shit when all the fucking work is
Where
gone.
is this money coming from?
Amazon.
If you think somebody really
Pay
about
taxes,
to tax,
bitch.
if you really think they about to tax Amazon like that, bro, let me repeat this. I got a bridge to
They
sell
gonna listen. They're gonna tax all of them because that Reaganomics bullshit does not work.
Never has, never will.
Exactly. The trickle down effect does not work. So we gonna do a trickle
Guess what they
up
gonna? Guess what they
effect.
gonna do? Guess what they gonna do? See,
That's
all
exactly what
all
he's
these
calling it, though.
billionaires, everybody's talking about tax the rich. Guess what they finna do? They finna take all their money out of America. Where does that leave us? Just in the same predicament.
Either way, we're fucked. So might as well try something that we haven't tried before, rather than going with the same bullshit we've been going with since.
What about his other? What about his other policies, Levi? Since you pining for
What you want to know about?
What we gonna do about healthcare, player?
I don't know.
What we gonna do about gun control, player?
I know he's with the gun control.
What
shit.
about the black community, player? I'm still looking for these reparations. I'm chasing this pipe dream.
Man, I don't know. How the fuck do you even do that in the first place? Like honestly,
The fucked up
'cause
part is you would have, like, you know how much money would have to be spent on genealogical reports?
Bro, because, like, I'm with it, but at the end of the day, there's no way you can really do it.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. Matter of fact, I repeat. Let me redact that. It's not that you can't. It's a lot harder than what they're willing to do, because it's really hard to prove straight up black American ancestry, right? Mm-hmm. Because then at this point, you're gonna have a couple Africans that've been over here for like 2 generations asking for reparations. I'm black American. Ah, shit. Shit. Exactly. You can't. How do you divide that? You gonna have Caribbean Americans asking for the same shit?
What about all the like white dudes that got like that 1%?
Exactly. They go. I swear to God, bro. They go on Ancestry.com.
That episode of Family Guy.
South Park too.
But where Peter got fucking reparations.
Yep. I found out I got 2% black in me. What's up, nigga? Like, that's all that's gonna happen, bro. Everybody gonna have an N-word pass, and black people can't get mad because they got the reports to back it up. But they're not in the culture. It's in the blood, I guess. You get
no, because I just watched the episode of the Boondocks last night. The S word.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We have gone off the rails.
We really have.
But we're still on the fucking rails.
Right.
It's a method to the madness.
And then, matter of fact, to kind of go back to what I was talking about with Hillary and the Democratic Party pandering, Jay fucking Z was going with Hillary, right? Mm-hmm. Him and his wife was telling us, vote for Hillary.
I was going to say, Beyonce was a bigger...
Oh, yeah, she was a bigger proponent for Hillary. They out here holding charity concerts and fundraisers for this, bro. She wanted to lock you up, nigga. She wanted to see you in jail.
And that's something...
But that just stems from, to me, that's just like, all right, nigga, we cool with the Obamas, and they said, all right, the Clintons is cool, make a move for them real quick. That's all that tells me, is they was like, all right, we cool with the Obamas, make a move for them real quick.
You're probably right, but I think it is skeptical that, majority of the people that are in the limelight or in the bigger, influences, all through Democratic parties. I mean, the George Clooney party in Hollywood is a, huge Democratic fundraiser. You had, what was it, Amy Schumer on Ellen, Amy Schumer on everything, saying Hillary Clinton was going to win the presidency, and just bashing Trump and everything else. I don't think they realize how big of a negative effect that has on them, on the party as a whole. I don't think they realize that, because I think people kind of view that as, this is who you need to vote for. And I honestly, I think it hurts them more than it helps them, because that makes me not want to vote for the person, even if I don't like the Republican candidate.
I feel like at the end of the day, we're fucked until we get rid of this stupid-ass party system in general.
I feel you, low-key.
I won't say exactly get rid of it, but there needs to be like a massive overhaul. Yes.
I'm tired of watching a fucking All-Star game every fucking year.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? American League versus National League, whatever you want to call it. That's NFC versus AFC.
That is exactly
my
what it is.
My team versus your team.
That's it.
Whatever my team says my policy is.
When's the last time a third-party person has even gained some real traction, even come close to contention? Exactly. That is bullshit. Mm-hmm. That is bullshit. And it's kind of crazy because, like, I didn't realize that I would have been better off just not voting last year. Because I voted for, like, some Green Party people thinking I was doing something. Not last year, but, what was it?
16.
Yeah, 2016. 3 years ago. Goddamn. Mm-hmm. Last election, I was like, yeah, I'm doing something. I'm not voting for either of them because I don't fuck with them. That's a wasted vote, essentially. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I understand, yeah, you can get into the semantics of it and that's my American right and blah, blah, blah. It did fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let me just be completely honest with myself for a few seconds. It did fucking nothing. I'd been better off just not voting. Wasting time. If anything, I'm just, and I know people pine on this constantly. Yeah, you can just do the local elections. But even then, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like, if you have a good feel for your area, where you stay, the demographics of it all, you know who's going to win. You know who's holding it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know who's going to walk away with that. Mm-hmm.
But, Ray, nothing will ever change if you think that way.
And that's the way they set it up. What the fuck?
That's big facts, though.
They set
what do they
up.
call that shit? Gerrymandering?
Oh yeah, gerrymandering,
Yeah.
redlining, the whole shebang bang.
Okay, so I think we can kind of wrap this whole conversation up into basically a few different points. A, be smart on the next election. Study who you want, and if you want Trump to be in there again, vote for him. And if you don't, vote for somebody else. That's really all it boils down to.
Please don't vote for that motherfucker.
Please.
They're going to. He's going to win again. But
Yeah, you right.
at the end of the day, no, I don't really care what your studies of politics are. I don't really care. Nobody cares. Just vote. It boils down to that. Just vote, please. And as for the mass shootings, we all need to figure out something together. Because whatever's happening,
Bullshit ass.
whatever.
I'm sorry.
All right, we can rewind it. Do it again.
No, you good, bro. It's good. It's just like that's what we all say every time.
Everybody
The human race, one race. We all need to figure it out together.
blanket statements.
Prayers
And then on the other side, you got everybody. Everybody needs to have a gun. No, no,
the teachers
You
need to be
have a
strapped.
gun.
bro.
You got a new truck, you get a new gun.
Well, anyway.
I know you was just wrapping it up.
I
man.
was
I'm
kind of
sorry.
wrapping it up, but I'll go back to that for 1 second. My fiance is a teacher, and I do not want to see her with a gun
Shit,
because
me
I
neither.
know who she is, and that's not a good shot.
You about to get fired. Oh shit!
Damn, he called her out.
What was one of them mass shootings you was talking about, Ray? Somebody get hit that's not supposed to. Bam!
Little Timmy, no.
Off the rails.
Yeah, we are off the rails now.
Okay, start with mental illnesses, go to gun control, and then we'll figure it out. There we go. All right, moving on. Anyway, like I said, moving on to something a little more lighthearted, but definitely in the mainstream media for sure. Jay-Z joins the dark side with Roger Goodell in a partnership to promote music in the NFL industry, something like that, and entertainment. But it's interesting because we were talking about this before we started recording. We talked about how different groups and different musicians have said they don't want to perform at the halftime show because of how Roger Goodell and the NFL's political views conflict theirs. But at the end of the day, their Maroon 5 was, their Cardi B was, because of the money. So we'll get into that conversation. But first, I know
Almighty dollar.
that's right. But first, I know Randy, has the clip queued up from the Jay-Z press conference about it. So let's hear what Jay-Z had to say about it.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job.
Interesting stuff. He claims that it's not about Kaepernick. He claims it's about bringing to light more bigger issues than that. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's fair, man. I mean, it is bigger than Kaepernick. At the end of the day, Kaepernick essentially started taking a knee to bring awareness to police brutalities and things of that nature.
Social injustices.
And social injustice, so in that respect, it is bigger than Kaepernick. I feel like we can't just stop progress or stop trying to do something and have some type of action in place because Kaepernick doesn't have a job. That's like saying we're gonna stop the civil rights because Martin Luther King and Malcolm X got shot. I
think it's a good thing from what Jay-Z was saying. Just for the simple fact, like you said, the NFL has cut Colin Kaepernick's legs off, and someone's got to keep it going.
And let's remember, Kaepernick brought a collusion case against the NFL and won in excess of what's said to be $100 million. And I'm not saying that's the end of it, and because it's not. That really doesn't have anything to do with police brutality or anything. But I mean, if he doesn't play another down in the NFL, he's straight.
That's true, but at the same time, it's off-putting. I'll say, you know what I mean, just to kind of align yourself with the people who, through their silence, essentially make themselves complicit in these things. You know what I mean? Because,
but what are they complicit in? What would you say they're complicit in?
Just with not being able to use their platform to broadcast your message. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You bring them in revenue, upwards of millions of dollars as a player, and you have a grievance. You know what I'm saying? That you want to be heard, and then they have the platform for you to broadcast this message on, and then they say you can't. Why? You bring in all this money, you're sacrificing your body for their dollar, and you can't. And then just to kind of essentially, to me, just put a Band-Aid on it with this alliance with Jay-Z, it's not enough. It's not.
We don't know what's enough if we don't let it play out and see what's going to go on.
That's also a fact. That's also a fact. But just on the surface, it does not look good to me.
What doesn't look good?
This alliance, because if they had just said, "Hey, we're working with Jay-Z for better performance, more diverse performers, so on and so forth," all right.
But to me, that looks 10 times worse.
It's more honest. Because I feel like that's what it really is at the end of the day. What doors are the NFL going to open for social injustices? Like, what avenues are they going to open that Jay-Z doesn't have access to himself?
Well, they weren't going to open any with just Kaepernick taking a knee.
Right.
And just to be more frank, and like I tweeted this before, billionaire white men don't care about black men getting on their knee. Y'all just niggas kneeling. I mean, like, what, okay, so there's two, like Jay-Z said, there's two phases to the protest. Mm-hmm. So we can do the agitation part, which is standing outside, having the signs up, protesting, marching, whatever we're going to do. Mm-hmm. Then there's the part where you're trying to get the big corporation, and there's two sides to that. So you can either get the big corporation to acknowledge you, or you're saying you're going to build a league to compete against that big corporation. Obviously, they're not doing that. And obviously, a person that had differences with Jay-Z and Eric Reed, who said Jay-Z's essentially selling out, you're wearing the NFL logo on your chest when you play every Sunday, big homie.
That's a fact. Because
why your homeboy don't have a job? So who are you to say anything in that regard?
And then, to be completely honest about it, I don't see enough people talking about this either, because also, to be frank, Kaepernick looks a little funny in the light too after that Nike campaign. Now you're profiting off of, this campaign. You know what I mean? Like, you're noticeably profiting off of it.
Is it funny? But why is that funny in the light?
Right. Because I don't think so.
Because then at that point, you've taken what was supposed to be like a grassroots movement, and then you've commercialized it. Like, now you capitalized on it. You're a capitalist.
I feel what you're saying, but at that point, in 2019, doesn't it take the money to make the change?
It does, but
like,
it's
this
just
not the day of MLK,
it.
And then where you can just go march and be like,
it's how you're doing it. It's not what you're doing; it's how you're doing it, right?
But why? But why does that take away from him just because he's getting paid by Nike from it?
Okay, just for the simple fact, what Nike had more to gain than to lose with that, right?
Absolutely,
okay. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying, is that, like, essentially you were being a pawn in their sales tactics.
Are you being a pawn, or are you just aligning yourself with the right people to do it?
The right people? These are big corporations. Like you said, these billionaires don't give a damn about a nigga kneeling, right? It's about the bottom, like, we're talking about the bottom line.
But that's how you get in the door, is the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Why couldn't he just...
Because the NFL not going to give a fuck if you're not talking about the bottom line.
So why didn't he just, instead of doing a full campaign with Nike, why wouldn't he just ask them to donate to his causes in that respect?
But doesn't that
it's yielding the same results,
right? But doesn't that give him even more of a platform for his campaign?
Yes and no, because it essentially bastardizes his campaign, right? Because with the donation, it's a straight up, we know what it was. Like, oh, they gave money to his cause, right? He didn't have to do anything in return for it, right?
Hey, you gotta.
That's
Hey,
not how that works.
yeah, you gotta scratch their back too.
And so that's what I'm saying. So then at that point, that's what bastardizes it, right? Because they
Why
don't
does that
really care.
bastardize it,
They
bro?
don't really care.
Did the white folk listen to MLK really care when he was going up in their offices talking about
But he
the
was
movement?
disrupting. That was the main thing. That was a disruption tactic. Because even after he talked to Lyndon B. Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
He still went on with that protest. Like he followed through with
Is
it.
Kaepernick not? Not to compare. Like I'm not comparing.
Obvious.
You gotta
You're
make
right.
it known,
You
bro.
do gotta preface.
You gotta make it known.
I want to preface my my comments, but okay, if that's the case, after the campaign, what has Kaepernick done since then? I haven't seen anything.
Just charitable. I mean, it's charitable.
Yeah, but if you off the recent, what was it? He just put out saying that he's still working and still training to play football.
And I don't know why. Why would you want to play for a tyrannical league like that? You know what I'm saying? They've made their stance known. It is very visible how they feel.
That's what he's done all his life, and he's made all of his earnings off of just that, right? Okay, so why would you not keep trying to do what you're good at and what has made you you?
I get exactly what you're saying. So if that's the case, then take your talent to the CFL. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not against that.
I'm saying, like, you want to play football, that's fine. This league does not fuck with you. They have very stances than you do, right? To the point where, like, it's a conflict. It's a conflict of interest, right? Go somewhere where there's not a conflict of interest and you can do your passion. You may not be compensated as well. You know what I mean? But you can pursue your passion. I just feel like it would be a moral compromise on his half to go back to the NFL after everything they've done and he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So to put it even more plainly, do you feel like Jay-Z is a sellout phony with this move?
I feel like once you hit a certain point of wealth as a black person in America, you have to sell out. You have to play the game.
I mean, yeah, we know that, but we've talked about that.
Let's preface that too, though.
In fact, I mean, no. I understand what you're saying, but we've talked about that many times. Like, we know what it is.
We know what it is, right?
We know what it is,
And
but I'm talking about just completely like sellout.
A full sellout.
A full sellout for this.
No,
for this move.
It's a partial sellout though. You know what I mean? And I know it sounds like a pussyfooting comment and whatnot, but it is what it is.
No, you just got to explain it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a partial sellout because he's aligning himself with a league that, you know, he was just disparaging just, you know, a year or two ago and whatnot, so on and so forth. And just to kind of go back on that and then accept their money to possibly move forward, even though it just seems more like a PR move on the NFL's part. It doesn't sit well, and I understand there's no such thing as like a perfect movement or a perfect move, period. You know what I'm saying? In the quest for social justice.
So with that being said, saying he is, you know, it's a partial sellout, what can be done? what do you do?
Here, like, now we get into it. Because what can be done and what will be done.
But just a mere suggestion. Like, what?
A mere suggestion?
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, because then we have to get back to what we were talking about earlier, you know, with like mental health and whatnot, the Democratic Party and whatnot, the system. And I understand that's a blanket statement, but then you have to go there and repeal a lot of these criminal laws that were put into place, you know, in the 90s and whatnot, so on and so forth, through our nation's history. These laws need to be amended, repealed, something. There needs to be a drastic change. And the worst part is enacting these drastic changes seems like our largest obstacle.
And I'm just going to pose a question based off of everything you just said. Would you agree that the very people upholding those laws and upholding this unjust system are the quote-unquote greasy bastards that Jay-Z has to touch elbows with, or anybody has to touch elbows with in order to make change?
Yes and no.
I mean, how else would
Can you fix it?
change these laws, eradicate these laws, if you're not touching shoulders or rubbing shoulders with the motherfuckers that's upholding it?
And that's the fact, and that's where it starts to get tricky, because a lot of times you do have to quote unquote rub elbows with these people, but also you have to stand firm in what you're what your cause is. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times there's a lot of leeway given. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I had to sacrifice this much to get this. And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like a lot of times those sacrifices end up hindering rather than helping.
Facts.
So,
but is it possible that Jay-Z could stand firm within that while rubbing elbows and touching elbows with the greasy bastards upholding this corrupt system?
To be completely honest with Jay-Z, and I'm saying, like, I know I was about to say it as if, like, I knew the dude, but just based off of, you know, moves we seen him the moves we've seen him make over the years, no.
That's fair. I mean, okay.
You know what I mean? Because I've kind of...
So what is your skepticism with Jay-Z?
Just...
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this like an interview with just Ray, but I know Ray has, like, critical points on Jay.
I do. And it's just like, because I love the dude as a rap artist. I really do. But like outside of that is where he kind of gets a little iffy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was like, oh, I'm starting this, you know, this black startup streaming company, when I've seen most of the staff. This was a Swedish-based company or a Norwegian-based company, somewhere in that area, right? White staff, like 50 to 60%. You know what I mean? The influencers is where the diversity comes in. And then just like things he's admitted to himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the dude that shot his own brother over a crack deal.
Oh, you going Tammy, what's her name? Tommy.
I ain't gonna call him just, this is a former drug dealer.
Oh, you going full Tommy Loren on me, dog?
Not really, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
Not really, bro. But I'm just saying, like, Jay-Z, as he's displayed to us, his character is a bit questionable. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, and this is the worst part. This is just from the outside in. I don't know the brother personally. I can't. It's just, I'm a skeptic.
But you taking some stuff way back in his earlier days, but these are saying that's who he is now.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I personally know motherfuckers that done some greasy shit back in the day, and they cool people. You know, now, like, they change people.
Yeah, still can't put it past them, though.
You can't put it past them?
That's what I'm saying. That's where the skepticism comes in, because you know their history, you know what their foundation is as a person. That is a building block.
You can't put it past them, but you want them on your side. If they on your side, you
see how that worked, though? That's a slippery slope, man. You get what I'm saying, bro?
I can't judge that man off of that, what he did, but he was also selling drugs, too. And that's like, you really have to look like that's some fucked up shit. You are poisoning your community, and he's championed it. He's championed for it.
That's a fact.
So it's just like,
I'm right. On the hypocrisy, I love listening to Pusha T, and all Pusha T talks about is selling dope.
Facts.
Which is poison.
I'm with you.
So let me call myself out, first and foremost. Yes, I'm a hypocrite for this, but also I don't see Pusha T pushing for social reform on a regular basis.
So you saying someone that has that past can't push for social reform?
I'm not exactly saying that. I'm just saying a lot of I just have to be hyper aware of what they're doing. I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to question.
Oh yeah. And you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
So that's why I'm so skeptical about this one point.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Who made Eric Reed play in the NFL after the Kaepernick situation?
Nobody.
Did anyone make him do it? Okay.
Nobody.
Who made Jay-Z make the deal with Roger Goodell?
Jay-Z.
Okay. It's all about what? Money. That's all it's about. And if Jay-Z wants to say that it's about, culturizing the country and making things better and making relations better with the NFL and different entertainers, that's great, and I hope he does that. But at the end of the day, if he's making a lot of money off of this, which we all know the NFL has billions of dollars, maybe $1 trillion or $2 trillion, he's going to get paid. And Eric Reed got paid. But at the same time, you're talking about two different situations, obviously. But with the Eric Reed situation, you mentioned a tweet that he made out about Jay-Z being a sellout.
Well, alluding to him being a sellout.
Yeah. How big of a sellout are you for doing something that no one made you do, and you're getting paid to do it, but yet you feel like it's your responsibility to speak out about it, yet you're going out to play next Sunday against the Falcons? Really?
I don't think that's selling out, though.
I don't think either of them are selling out, and that's where I'm getting.
I don't think just because that he's still playing in the NFL. I don't think that's being a sellout. Just like if Kaepernick came back, if a team actually gave him a chance for an average quarterback that could start in this league, I don't think that's a selling out.
Also, to kind of put this in on like the whole sellout thing, the average American can be considered a sellout, right? Because we all know that this is a corrupt system. We've literally just spent like an hour talking about how fucked up America really is at its core, right? And yet we all still here paying taxes in this motherfucker, right? So there's a certain point of selling out with all of us. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it comes off as projection. You know what I mean? And like, oh, well, their sellout is worse than mine's. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes like this grandstanding moral debate.
But with Eric Reed, like, you can't call a man or allude to a man being a sellout, and you're playing for that very league that you believe blackballed your friend. Like,
yeah. And
that's just...
And has unfairly targeted you.
Yeah.
Which...
I do agree with you with that. If he wasn't playing in the NFL, that'd be one thing. But to say that or allude to that, while you're still in the league, right? Yeah, no, I feel
after the very big check you just got from him.
Yeah. But see, that was my kind of point to saying that I don't think they are sellout because literally they just won that collusion case, right? And then now you still got a job in the league. Oh, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still making millions of dollars off of them.
Let's
doing
talk about
what you love to do.
The real sellout of that situation, though. Who was it? Was it Byron Maxwell, the Philadelphia corner?
No, I think you're talking about I feel like you're talking about Jenkins.
Yeah, my bad.
Malcolm
Jenkins, my bad.
That's,
no,
the Cowboys cornerback, I think.
Byron Maxwell?
I think so.
He must have played for the Eagles at some point. But, yeah, Malcolm Jenkins. You want to talk about the sellout in that situation. This man essentially sold out the Players Association like straight to the NFL and just ixnayed on everything that him and Eric Reed were supposed to be working on together. See,
that's the dicey shit because then, just to your point, you're not standing firm when it's time to bump shoulders with the greasy motherfuckers.
Because, and that's the whole thing, because and this is why low-key NFL players get fucked a lot.
Yeah. They got a weak...
they got a weak Players Association. Yeah. It's weak as fuck. Their CBA sucks ass. That's why everybody be like, man, I should have played basketball. They just got a good PA. They have a great Players Association. Their CBA is fucking awesome. Y'all should ask for more. Y'all deserve more. To be completely honest, y'all deserve a lot fucking more. There's no reason that running backs have to damn near beg to get paid like $75 million for 5 years. Meanwhile, quarterback is making what? Goddamn $250,000. You know what I'm saying?
A run-of-the-mill quarterback like Zeke, like above average quarterback in Zeke, is pining for what?
Dak.
$30 million?
Dak, bro.
Dak.
He's pining for $40 million. He turned $30 million down. Yeah.
Bro, Kirk Cousins is a top 12.
Top 12?
Top 12. Top 15. What?
Kirk Cousins is fucking trash.
Wow. Look, he's serviceable.
Garbage.
Like, he's above
I'm
average.
taking Kaepernick over Kirk Cousins every day of the week. Twice on Sunday.
Stop.
3 times on Sunday.
Okay, pause. Hold on.
Twice on Thursday.
Hold on. Raymond.
Okay.
What have you seen Kirk Cousins do that makes you think he's top 12?
He's posted more 5,000-yard seasons than Kaepernick. Am I bullshitting?
And he's throwing a lot more picks, too.
Okay, that comes along with it. But when that happens, we call them gunslingers, don't we? Isn't that what we do?
Not
Kirk Cousins isn't a gunslinger, though.
I'm saying, though, like when you're posting up 5,000 yards, close to 30 touchdowns.
Someone look that up. How many does he have?
How many? I know he has at least. 5,000. I know he has at least 2 with the Redskins, and when their receiving core was.
Oh yeah, because that's all the Redskins had. I mean, Nick Foles has had a pretty good career when he steps in, but that's because they tell him to just throw the damn ball.
Has he posted a 5,000-yard season?
But he's always been a backup, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true. He's come in halfway through the season almost every year.
And if you want to talk about people having good starts or good parts of the season, I mean, we can talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick all day long. I mean, he comes in, 4 games out of the year and has a good year and then throws 6 interceptions the next week. So, if we want to talk about guys that are flashes in the pan, Kirk Cousins is the biggest joke of a contract in NFL history for a quarterback.
Facts.
$100 million for a guy that went to Washington, and really I think he got paid $70 million of it because he yelled, "You like that."
90
Honestly, I think he got paid $70 million for it. And that's ridiculous. We're talking about a guy who has not even, he can't even touch.
Kirk Cousins has never posted a 5,000 yard.
How's it feel?
Never.
He's gotten close, goddammit. I know he has.
4,917. Not a 5,000 yard
That's
season.
fuck off. Fuck off.
12 picks. Only 25 touchdowns that year.
Hey, 12
Get the
picks,
fuck
that's
outta
average,
here.
bro. 12 picks is average.
Okay, and only 25 touchdowns? All right, get the fuck out of here.
Ray,
If you ain't got the
that's still
Patriots around you,
2.1.
that's not doing shit.
That's still 2.1. Like, that's the ratio is good. That's a good ratio. That's 2 for 1.
Ray just got debate fact checked. But
Nigga, you like Drew Lock. He's not even going to start never. Stop talking to me.
well, you just went to bat for Kirk Cousins, so
Yeah, what
Being
the fuck
a top-
is wrong with you?
Being a top 12 quarterback? Are you serious?
Fuck no.
Name me the 11 better than him outside of the top 5.
Blake Bortles is better than
Shut
Kirk
the
Cousins.
fuck up.
Bortles is
You have
better.
lost your fucking mind. I'm about to snap, bro.
Jared Goff,
Get the fuck.
Russell Wilson,
Okay.
Andrew Luck,
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger,
Okay.
Eli Manning.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm done. This conversation is
Baker
dead.
Mayfield,
Barely.
Tom Brady,
All right.
Phillip
Pat,
Rivers,
obviously, Phillip Rivers,
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton. That's 12 right there. You want me to keep
You
going?
named like 5 frauds. What are you talking about?
You want me to keep Nick Foles, Carson Wentz,
Niggas can't even play a whole season. You say that
Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston,
nigga, please.
Marcus.
Marcus
Mike
Mariota.
Glennon. I'll take Mike Glennon over Kirk
Kyler
Cousins.
Murray.
Kyler Murray.
Murray, dog. Yeah.
Collusion.
What's my nigga on the Jets?
Sam Darnold.
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold. What about Joe Flacco?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
That
Deshaun Watson.
that nigga don't even throw.
The
I'll take
whole
Lamar
fucking
Jackson.
league.
Joe Flacco. You said fucking Fluco.
Oh wait, hold up. Case Keenum. I'll take him over Kirk Cousins as well.
And for a while, Minnesota did too.
Man,
You know what?
Sam Bradford.
Fuck this whole podcast,
I'll take 3 games out of Sam
Sam
Bradford.
Bradford. Sam Bradford. He said Sam fucking Bradford.
Yes.
Matt Stafford is Kirk Cousins. What are you talking about?
A better version.
No.
Kirk Cousins wishes he could be
No.
Matt Stafford.
He plays in a wasteland called Detroit. What are we saying?
At least
But he
Matt,
can throw the ball
at
farther.
least Matt Stafford is an
can't.
actual gunslinger.
Exactly.
Actual guns. Okay.
Look up how many 5,000 yards Matt Stafford.
He had Megatron. He had Megatron.
After
That's
Calvin
playing
Johnson.
that's playing with a non-regularized fucking hoop. What are you talking about? I could make threes all day if the hoop was fucking 3 feet wide too. Shit.
He said Eric.
Don't say Ebron. Ebron is trash in fucking in Detroit. Stop.
I'm dead.
God damn. All right.
What? He didn't get good till he went to Indy. This man was constantly injured, inconsistent.
Matt Stafford has won 5,000 yards.
One.
One more than Kirk Cousins.
Ray is beside himself right now.
Oh. I'm actualized today. I'm on some shit.
Hey, you know the year he had 5,000 yards? He threw 41 touchdowns. All right. Compared to Kirk Cousins what?
And where did he go?
Same place as Kirk Cousins, nowhere.
No. Did he even make playoffs?
Pretty sure they made playoffs that
Did
year.
they?
I'm pretty sure.
Fact check yourself. Fuck this.
I'll double check it. You got it.
Anyway, besides Ray having taste in terrible quarterbacks,
Oh, that was a good year. That was the second time the
dude,
Giants
hold
beat
on,
the
hold on. He's
Patriots.
gonna point at me and say Drew Lock. You like Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins.
They're going to be better than Drew fucking
Lamar
Lock.
Jackson doesn't throw the ball.
Hey, listen,
Don't matter.
Hey, listen here. They did make the playoffs in 2011.
Did they?
So he went further than Kirk Cousins ever been in his life.
All right. Dude, okay, this is the thing. You shit on Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, right? But pine for Drew Lock. Help me understand. Help me understand. Because I don't see it. If you can't take the winning spot from Joe Flacco, you suck. Now you done fucked it up trying to be fancy. Stupid.
There we go.
Here we go.
So Lamar Jackson, right?
Yep.
When have you seen Lamar Jackson go into a game and go, this guy is going to throw the winning touchdown pass?
It doesn't have to be.
Yes,
throwing.
it does.
No, it does
Yes,
not.
at some point, a scramble for 30 yards is not going to work. Do you feel like Lamar Jackson is going to win the football game for you with a pass? Answer that question. Yes or no?
Yes.
To who?
Don't fucking matter. Max Williams, kiss my ass. He's gonna throw it to the tight end on a fucking 10-yard slant and win the game. Kiss my ass. I had to run through their receivers, alright? Who just knows a Baltimore receiver off the top of their fucking head? They lost everybody this past year. Only person that stayed was Willie Snead.
Hey, all I know is that if you pine for Lamar Jackson, you got to pine for Tim Tebow.
Do I?
Yeah.
Sadly,
Do I?
Because Tim Tebow was a better quarterback.
Sadly, that's true. If I went for
Nigga, we
the,
going up a year.
if I went
Talk
for
about
the,
your mind today.
if I went for the dramatics, I got to go for Deshaun Watson too. Deshaun Watson.
Uh-huh.
Do you trust that offensive line at all?
Nope, but I trust his scrambling ability.
Okay, so when he gets sacked on 3rd and 15 with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, do you trust his scrambling ability?
Yes, because he's playing with a bigger hoop. than
Okay, well
everybody
now
else.
it's 4th and 24. Do you trust him enough to make the throw to win the game?
Now, I'm going to preface this question with this. I'm going to answer that question with another question. When the fuck is Drew Lock going to actually start? Huh?
Next year.
When is Joe Flacco going to be elite? Answer me.
I'm not going to bat for Joe
What,
Flacco. Joe
2012?
Flacco sucks ass.
That's it.
Because you're sitting there, you're talking about a dude who's actually made the playoffs, right? With Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him go off for 5 or 6 touchdowns throwing in a game, right?
What was the year that the Chiefs played the Texans in the playoffs? What year was that? Was that 15?
Yeah, it was before Deshaun Watson.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, continue then.
Lost your fucking point, trying to get cute.
No, actually, I just made my point. But
No,
continue.
you didn't. But it's all good. You're sitting there, you're trying to trash his like. What are you trying to trash with Deshaun Watson? I'm still not getting it.
His decision making.
His-
And he does make a lot of turnovers, and that's been proven in his stats.
It's boom or bust with him, right? Gunslingers,
Okay,
right? We
but
keep talking about these.
But there's a difference between a good gunslinger and just a gunslinger. I mean, Brett Favre was a good gunslinger. Patrick Mahomes is an excellent gunslinger. Aaron Rodgers is the most accurate gunslinger in NFL history. So we can talk about gunslingers, but we can actually, if you want to talk about gunslingers, we can talk about good gunslingers, not Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. If we want to talk about
Jackson's
good
not no
quarterbacks,
He's not a gunslinger though.
I know, but you're trying to go to bat for a guy who maybe throws what, 15 passes in a game. And the funny thing is, did you watch that Chiefs Ravens game?
Which one?
The
One this past season?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Did you see the best pass of the day was thrown by? Do you want to know who it was thrown by?
Who?
Robert Griffin.
How many years has Robert Griffin been in the
It doesn't
league?
matter. That was the best pass I'd seen out of a
How
Ravens
many
quarterback
years?
all
No,
day.
answer this question. How many years has he been in the league?
It doesn't matter. It was a
It
better
does.
throw. It was just a better throw. At the end of the day,
One of you niggas need to wrap this shit
I'm
up.
about to. At the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is garbage. Deshaun Watson
lost
makes
your fucking
bad
mind.
decisions. And I don't know why you like any of them. But
You
anyway,
have bad taste in quarterbacks. That was the Showbank Show. We thank you all for listening. We appreciate it. This is live from Rated R Studios. I'm Rowdy Ray. Shout out Papa Schroeder. Shout out Rated R Randy.
Yes, sir.
And shout out Shitty EDJ. All right, y'all. We out.
Yup.
Survived through the worst. We came out of dirt. Born bro the curse. Born bro the curse. I don't fuck with these hoes, baby. Been out on my own lately. Don't talk on the phone, baby. Sauce over the stove, baby. Yeah.